everybody. My name's Carrie. Thank you so much for being here on my little channel on the YouTube world, where I get to sit and talk about all the things crafty and creative that I get into. Today I've got quite a bit of quilty talk going, and I've got some knitting and crochet. So today is May 21st, 2024. This is episode 129. And it's been a little bit. The last episode, I told you that I was going in for hip replacement surgery, which I had 4 weeks ago today. And I'm doing well. Slow recovery. I'm walking around pretty much without any assistance. I don't need a cane or anything like that. I do take my walking stick when I walk outside just because I'm not sure. But doing some physical therapy, everything went well. Got the new hip in. Now it's just a matter of retraining and strengthening muscles that haven't been used in a while since I wasn't able to walk properly prior to the surgery. But it all went well. I wanted to make sure I came on and just thank you for well wishes and all the prayers and everything that were sent my way. So I had a couple weeks where I wasn't really creating, especially the first week, being on pain medicine, didn't give me the best concentration. I did knit, didn't just try to knit. I did knit. I was working on the Zoril shawl, which I will talk about in a little bit. And I dropped a stitch. It's just a simple garter stitch shawl, very relaxing knit, and dropped a stitch and thought, okay, I fixed it. I thought I fixed it fine. And then as I kept knitting, I'm like, that just doesn't look right. Let me drop the stitches down and see if I can fix it. And like, well, maybe I should drop 2 stitches down and fix it. I made such a mess out of it that I ended up having to take out about 3 inches and redo it, because what I thought was like, yeah, it looks fine when you're under pain medication is very different than what looks fine when you're not. So I knew that I couldn't do anything too complicated. So, but the last few weeks I have been back to my knitting mojo, doing some sewing and that kind of thing. So let's get on with it. I want to start with the quilt that I have on the design wall today is my lava lamps. Now this was part of a block exchange that I did with my sewing group, my online sewing group. We each made a block, made several of them and sent them out to each other. So we did this whole exchange, and through some intimidation and coaching along, Chip was like, get those blocks out and get them done. I'm like, all right. I just set them very simply. I just put a 1-inch black border around, and the black is kind of like chalkboard black. It's not real deep, just to set them simply. There's a lot going on there, and I didn't want to complicate it anymore. I just wanted to get them together and get it done. I've got fabric cut out for the backing, so now it just needs to get quilted. I'm not quite ready to stand at the long arm yet, because it is a full motion experience when you're moving the machine and loading it and stuff. I'm not quite ready to do that yet, but at least this part's done. It is ready to be quilted. I'm going to do something pretty simple over it. I'm not really sure how I'm going to approach it yet. But because there's a lot of busyness, it doesn't need a lot of what I can do on the long arm to make it more complicated. So yeah, that is a block pattern by Molly Sparkles that we saw. It was a year ago in February at QuiltCon, so that would have been QuiltCon 2023. A friend of ours was at the show and kind of taking us around, via Zoom and stuff, and showing us, and we all saw this quilt. Somebody had made a quilt with these blocks, and it was like, oh, that would be fun, do this exchange. So we did, and it was a lot of fun to exchange them. So I've got a little piece of my friends, and that'll get done when I'm ready to go. Meanwhile, I've got other quilts that I've got in the queue. I had seen this pattern. This is called All the Good Quilt Pattern by Jittery Wings. This kept coming up on my Instagram feed And it was like, I love it. I love the colors. I love the design. There was just something that kept speaking to me. And I was just like, no, I don't need a new quilt. No, don't need a new quilt. And finally I was like, I keep getting drawn to this. Get the fabric, get the pattern. So I did. I got a fat quarter pack that is what they used to make this quilt with. And so I've got all these beautiful colors that will be part of it. I haven't started it, obviously. These are just fat quarters. And when I was looking at the pattern of like, okay, maybe I'll start this, it's a little more abstract than I'm used to working. It's not like take your lights and cut this out, and take your darks and cut this out, or color A, do this. It's kind of like separate them how you want, cut some like this, cut some like that, and it's sort of like choose your own adventure. But I really want it to look like this. And I'm not one necessarily for making something exactly like the pattern, but all of this really spoke to me. So I have to really sit down and like think it through. I'm sure it's not as hard as I'm making it, but I want to just make sure I get it right. And, you know, part of my sew group is also like, what's our next like project we're going to do as a group? Like we did that as a group. So we've got some other projects that we want to kind of do as a group. So I've got that I'm going to make, but I really want to do this one, and we'll see what happens. I need to just like get it started and just make the first cut and realize it's going to be fine. It'll work out. And then my friend Jenny, who I've talked about before, of Lamb Farm Designs, gave me a whole stack, a whole bunch of fabric that she had done. Like when she designs a quilt, she makes it. Sometimes she makes it more than once to make sure everything's going smoothly. She has it tested. And so these are leftover fabric. She's like, I'm never going to use these fabrics again. And they're solids or read as a solid. And she knows how much I like to use solids and stuff. So she's like, here, have this fabric. And in that stack was this pattern and all the fabric to make it. Now, I love the block design. I really do. I just don't know that I need another rainbow quilt. And so I thought, well, what can I do to challenge myself to use the pieces? They're all cut out. In fact, I cut them for her last year in preparation for, I think it was before Houston, and she was going to make it again. I forget why she was going to make it again. And then she decided, no, I'm not going to make it again. So all the pieces are cut. I could just make this, but I'm like, I sort of want to try to do something different. So I was playing with some of the shapes. And when you normally make like this, see that little light purple, the little light, let's see, let's go darker here. The little, like that little triangle in a rectangle. I took the pieces and there's like a light and dark of a color. And I thought if I put them together and I do this, I get a diamond. So what can I do with these diamonds? And so I was kind of playing with that, and it was like, okay, and I'm on the design wall and I'm like just moving things around. I've got a stack of squares in the colors. I've got lots of white squares, and I'm trying to like recreate this quilt, or not even recreate, but just to create something completely different using these things that are already pre-cut. So I'm making it way harder for myself, but it may end up being just like a placemat, and then I save the white and black squares for something else. I don't know. But I was playing around with that because I can't quite sit at my sewing machine. I can't sit at my sewing machine all day long. I can sit at it for a little while, and it's getting better that I can sit there longer as I heal more. So it was just a nice like introduction back into sitting at the sewing machine and stuff like that. I was still getting together with my sew group, but I was, I showed last time that I had this big bag that Chip gave me, scraps left over from a quilt he made. Well, they're all just shoved in this thing, and I want to press them all. So I just would sit and press while everybody was sewing and stuff, and I could sit there for a little while. Like I said, that's getting better. I can sit for a little longer. So but then it's like, oh, I got the fabric and basically the kit to make that quilt. So I have to start that right now. Like, do I really need to start that right now? I think I do. Another thing Jenny gave me was these. She had gotten these samples. These are batiks. So these are solid batiks. These are more of a print, which are so cool. These are more prints. These are all batiks. And I think, oh my gosh, I think these all need to just be squares and just make a gorgeous quilt. Just the squares. So I think what I'm going to do, and they're about a 5-inch square, is unstaple them from their color card thing and just sew them together and just make a simple square, squares together kind of quilt. I think that's going to go together pretty good. So I got to sit and like pull staples out of these. There's nothing wrong with just a simple quilt, and especially if it's something like this, then I can maybe gift it to somebody, because I don't need more quilts, but I like to make them. So that's, I think, all the sewing that I have done, which, considering what I've been doing lately and how it's all been, that's pretty good. Then I started... So I did, okay, so we're going to go back to the knitting that I mentioned earlier, the Zoril shawl. So here's the pattern. I have made and I made the third version using Needles at the Ready yarn in Wild Orchid and Ink Blot, and I finished it, but I mailed it off to Kevin from Needles at the Ready so that he can use it as a sample when he does trunk shows. I'm not going to be wearing it right now. We're going into summer, warm weather. That's not something I'm going to wear right now, so he can have it to show what his yarn looks like knitted up. It was a pleasure to knit, except for the mistake that I made and had to rip back, but those colors, that bright pink and that dark navy purplish blue, oh, so good together. So that's done. That's on their way. They may get it today. They were supposed to get it Saturday, but today's Tuesday. It still hasn't been delivered. Fingers crossed it gets there. It should. It says it's on its way. It's going to be delivered today. So I'm going to hold them to it. So another thing that I was working on is my swallowtail sweater. I did put that on hold for the first few weeks of recovery because I was doing color work, and the fact that I had troubles doing garter stitch, I thought, I can't follow a chart, can't trust myself to concentrate. And it's funny because I didn't feel like, woo, I'm loopy or anything. I felt like I was fine, and it just shows you how, you take some of those narcotics or you take something like that, and it's like you may feel fine, but you're not, because clearly I wasn't. But got back to it. I am doing the bottom ribbing of the body of the sweater, and it is turning out so good. Oh, I'm so happy with it. So this is all Fiber Hustle yarn, and I'm gonna have to stand up. Scooch me back. I'm stuck on my notebook. There we go. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, it's so good. So this is, I can't remember the names. She looks stunning in this like kind of lavendery pink. Then you've got navy. London Fog is the white. And then it goes into the body, which is That'll Buff Out, which is knitting up so pretty. And then we got the bottom has color work as well, and a little touch of the blue underneath. And now I just started doing ribbing, and I only have to do just the ribbing's not very deep. Like you notice on the neckline, it's not a really big deep ribbing, but there's a lot of stitches. So I am really excited. I think it's turning out so pretty. Erin's yarn's always lovely to work with. Oh, I mean, like, just appreciate the gorgeousness of this. So good. So once I got past this was more intense color work, and then it became more like a short repeat, like it's more of an 8-stitch repeat. So that color work went a lot faster. And same with the bottom. So the sleeve is going to be pretty much the same. When I pick up for the sleeves, there's a little bit of color work, but it's that really easy, repetitive stuff. I'll do some solid, and then you do this at the bottom of the sleeve. So it should go pretty quickly when I get to the sleeves. But this, you know, this is a slow go because of the color work. You get these little breaks without the color work, and it goes way faster. So I got through the body really, really, really good. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to get the hem done, the ribbing on the bottom done, so I can actually try it on. I tried it on when I was not quite through this top butterfly section just to see, and it seemed like it fit. So I haven't tried it on since then, and I'm assuming it's going to fit. So this has been a real joy to knit. It's going to be really fun to wear. The colors, I mean, the colors are just, he does such a good job. You should see the new colors he's coming out with. Got to go to fiberhustle.com. He's got this new colorway based off of a Journey album. So pretty. I may be adding to my collection. So that's like my main project. Once I got the Zoril shawl done, okay, let me see, I'm tangled up here. Okay, there we go. Once I got the Zoril shawl done, and like, okay, that was my easy project. I'm ready to focus on this color work, and having the easier color work makes it easier to like watch TV and stuff like that. Then I decided, oh, okay, then I need to start a new project. Because not like I have anything else I could just pick up. I've got the sock tubes that I prepped before surgery. So I'm, every once in a while I'll sit and do a heel or whatever. But I started a new crochet project. So, my friends had this brilliant idea. And you may have seen, if you watch Needles at the Ready, which you should, that wouldn't that be fun if we all made the Jethro cardigan. So the Jethro cardigan is by Tanis Lavallee, and it's crochet and knit. So you do granny squares, and then you pick up and you knit the sleeves, and you knit the button band and all that. That's not crocheted in. And I thought, oh my gosh, that would be really cool if I did that in like a cotton, do like a summer sweater, a lightweight, like shoulder season kind of a sweater. So that's what I decided to do. So it is DK weight. It calls for DK weight. I wanted to do a cotton something. So I found a cotton bamboo yarn on Premier, and it's called Bamboo Fair. And it is 60% rayon from bamboo and 40% cotton. And I got 6 different colors. You do 4 round granny square, and I picked these colors. So I wanted kind of a muted palette, and so I've got a brown, I've got pink, 2 different shades of blue. Like, I don't know, can you tell that's like one's more of a greener blue and one's a brighter blue, a purple, pink, whatever, all those colors. So I'm just going to change up the order based on whatever I'm feeling. I've got 5 skeins. I didn't weave the ends in this one yet. So I've got 5 skeins. I've got 5 squares done. I only need to make 60 more. But I really like this yarn. This yarn is very, very soft. It's going to have a beautiful drape. I'm pretty sure I'm getting gauge. I'm using a 4mm. Yeah, a G, which is a 4mm hook. And I don't know, is there a right side and a wrong side? Yeah, there is. So that's the right side. So it's supposed to measure 4.5, I think, including the joining round. So I'm going to do join as you go. So you're adding more clusters to it. So it's going to have more clusters on this side and then more clusters on the other side. So I figure by the time you add more clusters on either side, I'm going to be at gauge. And then this color is Fossil, I think. Yeah, Fossil. And it's a gray, but it's kind of a blue gray. And that's what's going to be the joining, which I think will look really, really nice. So this is a very muted palette for me, but I am really happy with it. So I did wind these. These come in these 100-gram skeins. You get 273 yards. It does say it's a 3, and I was like, really? This looks pretty thin. But once you start working with it and you kind of like get it out of its skein, it does kind of plump up, and I'm getting gauge with it. I'm close enough to gauge with it. So I'm really, really happy with this. Right now I'm trying to figure out like how you go about crocheting over the tails so you don't have so much to weave in. So I'm kind of playing with it. This one I did doing that, and I feel like it came out looser for some reason. So I don't know. I have to just stick with one method and just do that so they all turn out the same. So, yeah, that's exciting. So this, let's see. Well, you can see the colors. So this is, I don't know. You know, you can get on their website. But so each skein was like $4, $5. I think it was like $4 a skein. And so pretty inexpensive sweater. The joining and the sleeves will be this Fossil color. And so I did take these and I wound them into cakes because I hate pulling from this, and then it just gets weird. I don't like pulling from the outside of it. You pull from the inside and then you end up with this like loose little wormy thing, and it's a pain. So I've got them in all these in cakes. They fit in my medium-sized chip bag, and I can just, let me see, I'll show you. So I've got the 4 on the bottom, and then I've got these 2 other ones that I just throw on top, and I just switch out like what color do I want, and I can just pull the color, and I'll just, if I need to, I just move that around. So I can fit all 6 of the skeins easy in here with my hook. And then, you know, I'm just going to collect these. Now, the one thing I'm not sure with, because I usually knit, crochet, whatever, with wool, is do I block these? Do you block cotton? Do you block cotton bamboo? I'm not sure. Should I? Do I block them before I join them? I did get one of these boards that you put the pegs in so that you can put the pegs in the corners and block them. It only came with 8 pegs though, so I need to get more pegs so I can like block a lot of them. If that's what I need to do, do I just steam them? Like if anybody's got any tips, like I said, it's 60% bamboo from rayon from bamboo and 40% cotton. So let me know what I'm supposed to do. Wash, warm, machine wash, warm, dry, flat. I could do that. So the blocking part I'm not sure of. You know, you'll let me know. Yeah, then once I get that done, then I'll start on my crocheted poncho that I was going to make with wool, but I won't need that until like winter time. So I figure this is good. And these colors are really yummy. I think it's going to just be like a really yummy, warm, nice. So that's all I've got for you. I know it's been a while. I should have more to show you and stuff, but I've been busy. I've been busy just trying to walk around and do all the things. So I hope that you guys are all well and are enjoying maybe some warming up of the weather. We're expected to have a really big weather system come in, bring lots of rain, and then it's going to get warm again. So we're getting there. We're slowly getting into the warmer season. And yeah, so that's it. Okay, I will check in with you guys in a few weeks, and until then, be good, love on each other, and I will see you later. Bye.